Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wealthy Life, a channel for your personal growth, awakening, and financial wisdom. Have you ever wondered why some relationships feel less like love and more like chains? Why two people who once swore they couldn't live without each other end up suffocating, resentful, and hollow? This is a hidden danger of emotional codependency, a bond that feels like love, but is in fact a prison. Why does emotional codependency happen? At first glance, emotional codependency doesn't come out of nowhere. It's rooted in our deepest human fears. The fear of abandonment, of rejection, of being unloved. Many people grow up in environments where love was conditional. Be good and I'll love you. Don't upset me or I'll withdraw affection. Over time, love becomes tied to survival. When we step into adult relationships, this fear still lives inside us. Instead of seeking healthy partnership, we cling to others as though they are oxygen. We begin to confuse attachment with identity. I am nothing without you. Psychologists describe this as fusion, the blurring of boundaries until two people are no longer separate selves but enmeshed shadows. It feels safe at first, but in reality it erodes individuality, autonomy, and joy. Think of it this way. Codependency promises safety but delivers control. One person becomes a giver, constantly sacrificing to keep the other happy, while the taker leans heavier and heavier. Over time, resentment grows. The giver feels drained. The taker feels entitled. And both are trapped in a cycle they cannot easily escape. The poet Khalil Gibran once wrote in The Prophet, "Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you." But in codependency, there is no space, no wind, only suffocation. Imagine a young woman named Anna. She falls in love with Mark, who seems charming but insecure. At first, his need for reassurance makes her feel important. He needs me. I must be special. Soon, though, Mark begins to check her phone, question her friendships, and panic if she doesn't reply immediately. Anna, afraid of losing him, gives in to his demands step by step. Years pass. Anna no longer remembers what she enjoys on her own. Mark no longer trusts her freedom. Both are miserable, yet terrified to separate. This is a trap of emotional codependency. Two people chained together by fear, mistaking it for love. We don't have to look far to find examples. History and literature are full of them. Romeo and Juliet, a love so intense it became destructive, where their entire identities fuse into each other, leading to tragedy. Yoko Ono and John Lennon. Many critics argue their extreme closeness alienated Lennon from his band and friends. Whether fair or not, it shows how society perceives fusion as dangerous. Even modern films like A Star is Born show how dependence and the inability to hold boundaries can pull both people into collapse. These stories warn us, when love stops breathing, it begins to die. Why is this so dangerous? Because emotional codependency doesn't just hurt relationships, it rewires your very sense of self. 1. Loss of identity. You forget your own preferences, goals, and even opinions. 2. Chronic anxiety. Your partner's mood dictates your peace. A small silence feels like rejection. 3. Power imbalance. One partner often becomes controlling, while the other becomes submissive. 4. Empty shell syndrome. Over time, both may feel hollow, unable to understand themselves outside the relationship. In extreme cases, this can lead to depression, substance abuse, and even emotional abuse cycles. But why we can't see it? The most frightening part is that people inside codependent relationships often don't realize it. They mistake intensity for intimacy, control for care. Friends may warn them, "This isn't healthy," but they respond, "You don't understand, this is real love." It's like being underwater. You can't tell you're drowning until you try to breathe. Is there hope? Absolutely. Emotional codependency is not a life sentence. It's a wake-up call. But freedom requires courage and practice. Here is a solution for you to break free. 1. Recognize a pattern. Awareness is the first step. Ask yourself, do I feel anxious when my partner isn't around? Do I sacrifice my needs to avoid conflict? Do I feel guilty for wanting independence? If yes, you may be caught in a codependent cycle. 2. Rebuild boundaries. Healthy relationships require space. Boundaries aren't walls, They're doors, allowing closeness while protecting individuality. For example, it's okay to say, I love spending time with you, but I also need an evening to myself. 3. Reconnect with yourself. Rediscover hobbies, friendships, and passions outside your partner. Remember, you are a whole person, not half of a puzzle. 4. Seek professional guidance. Therapy can help unravel deep-rooted patterns, especially if they come from childhood wounds. Support groups like Codependent Anonymous also provide community and healing. 5. Practice secure love. True love is not about possession but partnership. It says, I choose you, but I do not own you. I love you, but I don't need to control you. Let me share you a lesson from history. The Chinese philosopher Zhuangzi told a parable about a fish in a drying pond. Two fish, trapped together in shallow water, keep each other alive by moistening one another with spit. But Zhuangzi observed, wouldn't it be better if they swam freely in a river instead of clinging desperately in a dying pond? This is the essence of healthy love. Not survival through desperation, but freedom and abundance. In today's world of constant texting, social media updates, and location sharing, emotional codependency is easier than ever. Couples track each other's every move, mistaking control for connection. Yet psychologists warn that digital surveillance breeds anxiety, not security. True intimacy comes not from constant contact, but from trust. Why this matters for you? You may wonder, but isn't love supposed to be intense? Yes, but not enslaving. Passion without freedom is obsession. Commitment without space is captivity. And security without individuality is just another form of fear. If you ever felt like you're disappearing inside a relationship, remember, love that costs you yourself is too expensive. The novelist Anais Nin once wrote, love never dies a natural death. It dies because we don't know how to replenish its source. It dies of blindness, of errors, of betrayals. It dies of illness and wounds. It dies of weariness, of witherings, of tarnishings. Emotional codependency is one of those witherings. It looks like love, feels like love, but slowly drains the life out of both people. But the good news? Once you see it, you can choose differently. You can love with freedom, with boundaries, with trust. You can build relationships where two whole people walk side by side, not two broken halves clutching each other in fear. So ask yourself today, am I in love or am I in chains? Don't forget to subscribe our channel, like and share the video. May you soon discover your true direction in life.